Welcome to DC Music Rocks. The Washington, D.C. region has one of the best local music scenes in the country. We're shining a spotlight on its great songs and incredible people. Tune in, jam on, rock out.
I'm your host, Brian Nelson Palmer, and with me today is Pebble to Pearl. Guys, say hi and introduce yourself. It's awesome that you're here.
Hello, hello. I'm Derry J., singer of Pebble to Pearl.
Hey, I am Jenny Jam. I am the guitarist.
And I'm Deese, the bass player.
Fantastic. God, we got three of you guys, and now there's more pieces, right? Who are the other ones we're missing today?
We have Araya. He plays keys. And we have Mr. Panda on drums. And we have a backup vocalist, Nikki T.
And Nikki T. God, so 6 people when you guys are on stage. Good gracious, that's a lot of fun. And if they've never heard of you, how would you describe yourselves?
We are a funk rock band. From DC. I like to always say we are the best band you never heard. So.
Oh, it's like that. Well, after today, they will have heard. So I love it. Oh God, that's funny. And what's a recommended, if you like, comparison? If they've never heard of you, what are 3 big name artists they might have heard of that you guys are compared to?
Well, I would say we're pretty much compared to a lot of the idols that I go with. Nick Acosta, she does like funk pop type thing. Michael Jackson, of course. Tina Turner from Stage Presence and stuff like that as well.
Oh my God, you're just talking about some of my favorite people too. And this is, and how is this the best band you've never heard? God, I'm so glad we can change that right now. That is so good. On our show today, we have announcements and news from the DC scene. We have great music by artists from the DC region, and we have a very special interview with these guys. So stay tuned. 3 quick reminders. 1, subscribe to the DC Music Rocks podcast, and please take a moment to share us with someone you know who loves music. All of our more than 10,000 followers have come through your sharing us, and I'm so grateful. So thanks for that. 2, sign up for the email list. Every week, we're finding and sharing all these events, this news, these guests, and this great music. We'll stay on top of it. Let us email it to you so you don't have to go looking for it. And number 3, buy your tickets to the DC Music Rocks Festival at the 930 Club on August 18th.
Yes.
Links and info. Yes, we want you there. All of us want you there. Pebble to Pearl's going to be there. It's gonna, oh man, it's shaping up to be such a good show. Links and info are on our website, dcmusicrocks.com, and obviously in your episode notes right now. You can pull them up right now on your phone. There's hundreds of tickets have already been sold. They're only $15. Go ahead and buy your tickets right now. It's our party at the 930 Club on August 18th, and I want you there. So we'll see you there. Okay, so announcements. We're starting off with the news. Let's jump into news here. First up in announcements, we just have big group of thank yous. So because many of you have seen the artists that are involved, but we have some incredible sponsors who have helped us in so many ways to make the DC Music Rocks Festival grow to become the epic event that it is. So a big thank you to Arlington Independent Media, who's providing the TV support. We're going to be having this. We're going to video record this thing. We got Bias Studios, who's recording the audio for us. Chuck Levins, the music store in DC, has helped us out promoting. So did 7 Drum City, which is where you go to get your drum lessons or your music lessons. Petworth News helped us spread the word up in Petworth. The Musicianship does amazing things with kids and music, and they're on board. District Karaoke offers you an opportunity to do karaoke with your friends in a league. It's amazing. Rocksplosion is a photographer, and he's helping us out big time with the photos. And then we have Alchemical Records that works with artists to help them out. So just an amazing groups. These are amazing groups that are doing wonderful things in the scene that are also such a great part of this festival. So thanks to those guys. And also, I've got 3 quick shout outs or thank yous to share of my own, because the below had me on to talk about the festival. And the interviews were a lot of fun, and some of them were extensive, about a lot more than the festival. So one is Another Wasted Hour, is a podcast hosted by Keith Center. I've got the links for you for all these in the episode notes if you want to check these things out. Metro Songs is a podcast hosted by Jason Mendelson, who's been a guest on our show. He does songs about the Metro. He's got a podcast, and I was a guest on his podcast. That was a lot of fun. And DC Music Review did a preview of the DC Music Rocks Festival that just came out today. And so Karen McLaughlin, who also hosts Karen's Calendar, did that show. I just want to say thanks to all those guys. So many amazing things. Now, and that's announcements. You guys have Deese, there's some kind of announcement with you, man. Talk to us.
Deese is back.
back! Yay!
Deese is back. What do you mean?
I've been out. I was involved in a car accident early July.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
And you're walking around. You're here. That's a good sign. That means you're at least coming back around.
Crutches and all.
That's a start.
Yep.
That is a start, yes.
He'll be with us on Saturday.
I threatened his life and told him he had to be at the 9:30 club.
Actually, a few people
I
threatened
said,
my
he'll
life.
love, you have to be there.
We'll put you in a wheelchair.
Well, Deese, we're glad you're back, and we're back
you.
and recovering at least, man. It's good. He was hobbling around, but you know what? He's even here doing the radio show before the big festival at the 9:30 Club. So, Deese, I'm so glad you're here, man. That's
Thank you.
cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's cool. All right, let's jump into some new releases now. Remember, all these are available right now wherever you get your music online. Latest ones we've heard about. Odetta Hartman released Old Rock Hounds Never Die, and it's a 15-song folk and indie full album. Recommended if you like Beck, Patti Smith, or Bjork. You might love Odetta Hartman. High Tension released Talk in Tongues, which is a 6-song, really hard rock EP. They're recommended if you like Queens of the Stone Age or The Strokes. You might love those guys. Check out their album. All these are linked in your episode notes, by the way, so you can check them out anytime and we've got more info for you. So they're linked there. And then Jay Alexander is a hip hop artist recommended if you like T-Pain or Usher. You might love Jay Alexander. He released a single called I'm Gone. And in the world of videos, also linked in your notes, The Split Seconds is a really hot kind of classic punk group that actually played the DC Music Rocks Festival last year. They're awesome. Everybody's Wrong is a music video they just released. Jay Alexander released I'm Gone, which is that same audio that I just talked about. He's got a music video for it too. So I've got that linked for you. And then Rory released a really awesome homemade lyric video for her song Gold. It's kind of an indie vibe. So I hope you check out more from them. Now, from Pebble to Pearl, you guys talk about new releases from you, or what's the latest in the world of music for you guys?
We just dropped our self-titled Pebble to Pearl EP, June. I think it was in the end of June, something like that.
Nice.
So we'll be playing all of those songs at the 9:30 Club.
Excellent.
That's fun.
We've
Yeah,
played
we're
a
very
few of them
excited
on
about
the
that.
show. We're going to play one. We're going to play one for you here on the show too. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Very good. And is there now other music in store? You guys play a ton of shows. My God, you play all the time. Do you have plans in the works for another album? Maybe.
Yeah,
coming,
we're
or?
still brainstorming, still working on it,
Yeah.
getting new music together. So hopefully we can get another EP out maybe next year.
Yes.
Excellent. No, I'm excited. We'll make
Absolutely.
sure whenever that comes out, we'll certainly share it on here too, because my God, I'm such a fan. Next up, what shows are you going to this week? Right now, if you're around DC, take a moment and check the episode notes to see our hottest picks for this week's local DC shows to see. We spend hours each week sifting through them all to select and share the ones we are the most excited about and share them with you. Remember that our website, dcmusicrocks.com, features DC's only live music calendar that is exclusively for local artists. So you can always find the full list and preview the artists if you've never heard of them. Go see some live music around DC this week. And speaking of shows, Pebble to Pearl, I know there's one show that we're certainly going to talk about. What upcoming shows do you have? Talk to us.
Gosh, what do we have? We do a lot of local. Oh, did you bring it up? Good.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, I don't know my own calendar. I don't know.
There's so many.
Go ahead, Jenny. Take it away.
Yeah.
Well, besides the 9:30 Club on Saturday, which is going to be so dope.
9:30. That's Saturday, August 18th. We're at the 9:30 Club. Cool.
We're also, September 1st, we're at Harrington Casino in Delaware. So we like to rock out there. And then we're at Hollywood Casinos. Wow, we're doing the casino wrap.
You got the
Casino tour.
casino
tour.
room.
Casino tour.
Yeah, okay.
That's the 15th.
Casino circuit.
Also, we're at Bar Louie down in Woodbridge.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right,
14th. So the 14th to 15th. So yeah, we're booked. Like,
Got it. All
Yeah.
kinds of cool shows.
yeah. So, and I don't know should I continue? We can.
Well, so why don't we just leave it at where do they go to check out your show calendar? Where would
please
they
check
find
out our
that?
website, www.pebbletopearl.com, and that has our full calendar on there. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all of it.
All the places you go to get your
We're
music.
everywhere.
These guys are there, and you can check out that EP that they were talking about. So now let's jump into some music because we've been talking for a bit. So our first track of the day today is one that I get to share. He's also, if you've been following the news about the festival, you know that I offered an opportunity for everyone to nominate singer-songwriters, and then we had two that were selected, and one of the guys that won, his name's Justin Shapiro, and I had never heard of him before the contest happened. So I'm so grateful for all you guys for nominating this guy. He's going to be there, and I want to play you one of his songs because this is Justin Shapiro. And here's your sneak preview before the festival of his track, Lost in Time.
DC Music Rocks. Great jams to hear by artists from here.
After a little while, I'm glad we did because it's just my style. You got me singing 'cause my soul's on fire, and I love the way it makes you smile. Let's go, there's nothing more important than time. Let's put our hearts together and we'll find another song, another journey, another rhyme. But love, I always got you on my mind. So unique, the way she inspires me to be the man I wanna be. The way she calls me honey really makes me weak. From the top of the world I scream my heart, my soul, my love, my soul. I turned around and I fell in love. No one ever wanted no sign from above. I turned around and knew she was the one. Together we can lay and stare at the sun. Feeling that I thought would take forever to find. Can you feel it? I can feel so passionately. This is the start of the story of you and me. She said, you know I want to take things slow. I said, okay, but something that you ought to know. You rock my mind, you rock my heart, you rock my soul. Baby, I'm never gonna let you go. Like me, she lives her every moment, every day. Stars in her eyes, desire on her face. We can lay right here with nothing left to say. And now I'm dancing with my soulmate. My heart, my soul, my love, my soul. I turned around and I fell in love. No one ever wanted no sign from above. I turned around, knew she was the one. Together we can lay her and stare at the sun. 'Cause together we can go and get lost in time. A feeling that I thought would take forever to find. Can feel it, I can feel it so passionately. This is the start of the story of you and me.
The sweet sounds of Justin Shapiro, and the track is Lost in Time, and that's off his album Campfire Party that he just released. You know, I've had a lot of fun checking him out because I had never heard of him before the contest and before this festival. And as I started to check it out, he released this album, and I was looking online. It turns out one of his songs is in like the top 100 of new release songs. And so he's this really cool singer-songwriter that we've now has come on my radar because of all this. And I really enjoy enjoy him. So he's recommended if you like OAR, Pearl Jam, Dave Matthews Band, Ben Harper, Neil Young, that kind of vibe, you might love more from this guy. He's in Northwest DC, originally from Bethesda, Maryland. So he's true local to the area. And that debut album, Campfire Party, came out this year, May of 2018. So, all of his links and everything are in our DC Artist database. So you can check out a profile for him and listen to more of his music and more of what he's got going on. And I hope that you do. And I hope you come and see him at the 930 Club on August 18th, because he's going to play a set for us so you can hear some of those sounds that you heard there. He's going to do it for us. Now, we have an interview with Pebble to Pearl, and my favorite way to introduce them, if it's an artist, is to play you their music. So I'm just going to jump right in. Well, I want you to hear them first. That debut EP they were talking, or that their what did you call it? A debut EP? A debut? It's not a debut album.
Self-titled.
Self-titled album. I love that. It's the self-titled album by Pebble to Pearl.
That's right.
And the song is called Better Than Nothing.
DC Music rocks.
Your face, mama say you better sit up straight. Hit a little bump in the road and I hope it's gone, and then you hit a race. Feel your way through the dark, focus on that spark of light. Hold on to the little bit, little bit of something. Always better than nothing. Said it's better than nothing. Little bit of something. Always better than nothing. You can always take that break. Go ahead and wipe that slate clean. Hold on to the little bit. Little bit of something. Always better than nothing. Said it's better than nothing. Little bit of something. 'Cause it's better than nothing. So it's better than nothing.
Pebble to Pearl, and the track is Better Than Nothing, and that's off their album titled Pebble to Pearl. If you look it up online, and holy smokes, guys, I can't tell you how many I've streamed that so many times, and it was so loud in the car on the way here. It was so good. So I'm such a fan. So let me just give you a proper introduction. Let's interview you guys a little bit here. So on DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. Pebble to Pearl creates a unique blend of funk, rock, fierce, and powerful blues. They display a tapestry of sound that will truly captivate, mesmerize, and send chills down your spine while keeping you entertained and dancing.
That's right.
They have no boundaries with influences from legends like Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, and Shaka Khan to the next generation of powerhouses like Beyonce and Rihanna, which I definitely, like in that song and in some of them, I definitely hear that stuff and it's like, ooh, get it, girl. Yeah, man. There's a lot of that. And they throw in everything but the kitchen sink into their show and leave a lasting impression and the need for wanting more.
One more song.
One more. That's God. It's so good. What do we do? And you give them one more song, I'm guessing. Oh God, it's so good. So guys, thanks so much for being here. And remind them again, so the pieces of the band. Pebble to Pearl is made up of how many pieces and what instruments? And who plays?
We're six-piece band. So we got 2 vocalists, lead vocalists and support vocals.
Which is, and what are their names?
Me, lead vocalist, Derry J. Support vocalist is Miss Nikki T. We have our lovely guitarist here in the studio, Miss Jenny Jam.
Yay.
Bassist, Mr. Deese.
Yep. At the bottom.
Our keyboard player, Mr. Araya. And drummer, Mr. Panda.
There it is. So 6 magical pieces.
That's right.
I love it, guys. And now, what is it? What would you say is what makes you special? What's different about like? There's all kinds of bands out there. So what is it that makes you guys special? Would you say?
Well, I don't know. I think we took an array of musicians with different backgrounds and kind of merged it into this band that we have formed. You know, I came from I guess like a funk background. Everyone always asks me if I had a gospel background, if I grew up singing in the church. And no, I did not. But I have been singing Michael Jackson since I was 4.
Oh, my. Okay.
You know,
so that puts you like, that was just 10 years ago then, right?
Exactly.
Because you're so young. Yeah, absolutely.
It was only 10 years ago.
That's right.
But I have videos. My mom has videos of me singing, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, stuff like that. And so, you know, I've been born and raised in that era. And then you have Jenny here, who has a different musical background. And when she came in and had to play some of when we do cover songs, and I gave her some of the covers, she's like, what is this? I've never played this before.
Yeah, it's like I've heard the music, and everybody thinks I'm like a rock player. And believe me, when I first started learning guitar.
If you don't know, she has a lot of tattoos. If you check her out on social media, you'll see some of her ink that she's got going on. Yes, absolutely.
But I grew up and I learned when I first started learning guitar, I did learn a lot of the rock songs and, you know, the typical guitar rock songs that you have to learn as a guitarist. But I basically went more into like the hip hop, R&B kind of thing and funk and go-go, you know. I actually played in a go-go band. So that was crazy, but that taught me a lot too. But it was really nice to, you know, find something like Pebble to Pearl, because it actually brought me back to like what I really love to do, which is playing really good guitar, you know, good guitar songs. The originals that they had, I was just like, yeah, this is me. This is totally me. So, yeah.
Nice.
And then Deese.
Yes, I'm a product of the Prince, Morris Day type, Rick James type genre. And
cameo.
You know, I started this playing trombone, but when I heard Prince, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I picked up the bass. My mother bought a little bass, and I actually played 2 years without an amplifier. And I just grew from there. And so I kind of fused that with what Jenny brings, what Derry brings, Panda and Araya to the table to make a complete composite. And it's a unique sound.
Yeah, I mean, Araya had a classical background.
Yeah.
You know, he's classical jazz,
classical
Ethiopian fusion type thing. So, I mean, that was completely different. And then you have Panda, who had a jazz background as well.
Jazz, gospel.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we fused all that together to make what we have now.
God. Well, I'm a fan. Good gracious. I can't wait to see you guys do your thing at 9:30. That is going to be in the 9:30 club. That's going to be big. And now, what part of the DC region are you guys connected to?
Well, we do most of our gigs and touring, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and DC. So we're kind of in the whole metro type area. Anything within about 2 hours away, we'll go.
You'll do it.
Yeah. We've gone to North Carolina and, other places as well, but a couple times a year, something like that.
And what area do you live in? All over? Where
I'm in Dulles.
Concentrated?
I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
in Virginia. And Dee's in Virginia. Jenny's in Maryland. Nikki's in Maryland.
The country.
I was going to say, it
She's
seems
in
like
a
that
whole
line.
other state.
Once you cross the river, it's like, oh, that's so far away.
So far. But both her, Nikki, and Panda now are in Maryland. They're so far away.
Panda's a Marylander now. I forgot about that.
And then the others. So it's
Taking
split
over.
down the middle. 3 in Virginia, 3 in Maryland.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, that's cool. And now, what about, earliest memory with, well, actually, you know what? I feel like you guys kind of answered that because you were talking about Michael Jackson when you were 4 years old.
Yeah.
And Deese was talking about playing when he was young and Jenny Jam, all her background. So instead, what I want to ask you is talk about the funniest moment for Pebble to Pearl on stage that comes to mind. What's the funniest moment performing?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, the funniest thing that I can think of off the top of my head, and Deese, I believe you were there. Jenny was not there. We had to sub her because she was out doing her rock star thing. And so we had a sub guitarist who was great, by the way. He's absolutely great. But what happened is he started the song on the wrong key. And so I just go with the flow.
Right.
And so, okay, I hear the key. I'm just gonna sing it in this key.
We're gonna sing a new key. Okay.
And then I come to realize the key is a little low. And so I'm singing like a baritone player. And then to fix it, keyboard player comes in. So, let's change the key. Well, we're going to up it. And so they changed the key going into like the chorus. And so then I had to change the key in what I'm singing in. And then I realized that's not the right key either, guys. That's too high. So now I'm singing like a chipmunk. And I'm screeching at the top of my lungs, singing like a chipmunk, trying to get this note out. And then finally, by halfway through the song, we found the right key, and then it was back to normal. But it was, at the time, it was mortifying.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely mortifying.
Laugh about it.
And funny.
In front of everybody, but mortifying internally. But I was laughing the whole entire time because I don't embarrass easily. We were cracking up. I'm looking at the people who know us in the audience, and their eyes are huge. They're like, what is happening right now? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going with it. I don't know what's happening. But it was absolutely hilarious, and we talk about it all the time. The song was a cover song. It was Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, and I just remember going, I remember when. And I'm just like, I'm going crazy. I mean, it was so high, I couldn't do it. It was the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life, but it was funny.
That
The audience
sounds
didn't know.
crazy.
The audience didn't know.
Oh, no, they thought I was supposed to be shaking like this.
We meant to do that.
Yeah, we meant to do that.
That almost sounds like...
It's our version of the song.
That sounds like you just did. That was like an example of your pet voice. Like, oh, you just come here, look at you, you look cute.
We'll remember to do that the next show.
Oh, there you go. It's now a part of the set list now.
That's right.
It's like the 5 key change song. Yeah,
We just
keep changing it.
look at them and say, it's jazz.
It's
We're
jazz.
just doing jazz, man. It's all jazz.
Oh, God. No, okay. So what about you guys on the personal side? So outside of music, what do you do? What's life like for you guys?
I have a lot of different things I do, but the main thing that I absolutely love doing when I'm not singing is I'm a dog trainer.
Really? I just talked about pet voice. I didn't even know. Yeah. Apparently, that's a thing.
That's how you talk to them to make it happen.
That's what she said.
That's right. So I'm a dog trainer and behaviorist.
Wow.
Dog behaviorist. So,
and where do you do this? Is this like a little side thing, or is it through a store or your own little thing?
I have my own business doing it. I focus on like the power breeds, like the Dobermans, Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, stuff like that, and rehabilitate them and work with them doing both basic obedience and doing behavior modifications so that they can either stay in their home. I work with a lot of dog rescue rescues
Wow.
and rehabilitating some of the dogs that are having a hard time being adopted so that they can be adopted in the future. You know, that sort of thing, and working with other shelters and stuff to do the same.
Wow, Derry, that's cool. All right, Jenny, what about you?
Well, besides eating, I'm only kidding.
I would have assumed that you eat, but it's good that we clarified that. This is good. All right.
Out the way.
I'm really money wise for the money. I'm a designer and a video editor. I freelance and I have my own business. So I do a lot of contract work. I work with a lot of design firms that hire me. Usually in the summer and the holidays are usually my busy times because that's when people go off on their vacations and stuff. And I mean, that's what I do.
Wow.
I went to school.
And designer of, so mostly graphics or video too? Or?
Graphic design. I started out as a graphic designer and kind of worked my way up to like web and video. And really the bulk of my work now is more video editing and motion graphics.
Got it. Wow,
yeah,
fascinating.
And that's where the money comes in. But anyways, but I love doing it. It's a passion of mine because I went to school for it. And it's like my other passion is designing and art and all that stuff. So that's what I do.
Design. I love it. Dees, what about you, man?
Well, my 9 to 5, I'm a satellite.
Kill you.
My 9 to 5, I'm a satellite operations specialist, and on the side, I have an IT business where I specialize in web and app development, and licensed drone pilot.
Good. So it sounds like this band has like all the other side hustles you could possibly need put
We
together.
got the services.
You seriously got it covered.
We
can do it all.
Video editor.
All the things. That's right. They can rehab your dog and create your website and make it killer. Like, holy
Hack your
smokes.
GPS if I have to. No, I'm just kidding.
There it is. We won't talk.
I told you, if you tell them, we have to kill them.
We won't talk about hacking. All right. Now, my favorite question to ask is if you could offer one piece of advice, we're going to go down the line here. If you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be? We'll start with you, Derry.
I would say keep trying. Never stop trying.
Where does that come from?
Before Pebble to Pearl started, and Dees, you're most familiar with it because he's my veteran person who started the band with me for the most part. I was in another band and I got kind of kicked out of it, I guess, so to speak. We won't go into how or why.
Right. Okay.
But, I was released from that band and it was traumatizing, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And, a lot of, that was everything to me, to have this band. And I could not let go of singing and being in a band. And so it was the day that it happened. I called up Dees and said, we're starting another band. We're doing this. And I want you to be our bass player. And he did. And from then on, it's now been 5-6 years, something like that, now that we have Pebble to Pearl and we've got all of our lovely people in it that I absolutely love. We're family now. But I'm glad that I'm not in that other band anymore because this is everything. The way that this band is absolutely everything. And if I had stopped trying, if I had let that, and I'd given up on it, then I wouldn't be here. And I wouldn't have these wonderful people that I love.
I love
so
it.
just never stop trying. You can always get there.
Yeah. And guys, all right, so we've got time for one more. So Dees or Jenny, what do you think? One piece of advice.
And this is local. Okay, so I want to just pass this on to local musicians. If you make a mistake, do it twice. People think you did it on purpose.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Again, never stop trying.
If I make a mistake, because you're only a half step away from the right note. So if you make a mistake, do it twice. Make people think you did it on purpose.
And it actually might sound good too.
Own it.
Own it.
Yeah, own it.
Make it work.
That is amazing.
Make it work.
And now for those folks who want to find out more about Pebble to Pearl and all the stuff you've got going on and what you're doing, where do they go?
PebbleToPearl.com. And that's TO, not the number 2. So Pebble to Pearl, www.pebbletopearl.com. We're also on Facebook. And it's at Pebble to Pearl on Facebook.
Yeah, Pebble. I think everything's Pebble to Pearl.
Everything is, at Pebble to Pearl. Instagram, Spotify, iTunes. We have the EP on there and a couple singles on there as well. YouTube, we have a lot of video. We have a couple videos on there as well as a whole bunch of live stuff on there. So every social media you can think of, we're on there.
You got it. And now, one of the things when you're a guest on DC Music Rocks, you got to bring great music by other local artists with you, and these guys definitely came through. So why don't you let's jump back into some music, guys. What do you have for us first?
Fidel Band, and the song is Mescarim.
DC Music Rocks. Tune in, jam on, rock out.
Band, and the track, or I hope I say it right. It's Feedel. I'm guessing Fiedel. It's the Fiedel Band, and they're an Ethiopian jazz group. They're from the DMV. They got members from DC, Maryland, and Virginia, so they're spread out. But oh my goodness, I love the vibe, guys. Thanks for bringing them on. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, the Fiedel Band, as you can hear, can be best described as a mixture of East African jazz, 60s funk, and traditional folk and blues. Most of the musicians hail from Ethiopia, and there's a few that are local. These guys have been around for a while. They've performed at the Kennedy Center. They've been featured in the New York Times, Washington Post. Wow. You can also find their music on iTunes and Amazon.com.
And what's your connection with them? Or you guys know them? Or how did you first come across them?
Well, I've met the composer and the keyboardist of the group. It's Araya. Okay. And he plays with Pebble the Pearl as well. Oh. And actually, just a little, I guess, fun fact, he's actually direct descendant of former king of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie.
Really?
Yes, he's royalty.
Royalty in our
He's royalty, and we treat him like royalty.
And that explains a lot of things now.
I was going to say, there's a lot of dynamics that we didn't get into in the interview, then, that it sounds like that would be an interesting thing.
Yeah. I have to call him Sir Araya now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir Araya. Oh my God, there's so many good places this can go. I love it. The bottom line is, from all of that, I hope you go check out Fiedel Band. Their Fiedel Band. If you look them up online, they just go by Fiedel. But the Fiedel Band is where you find them on iTunes and Spotify and all those places. And that was Meskedem, and it's Ethiopian Ocean is the album that you just heard track from. So good there, guys. Thanks for bringing them on. That was good. And now I've got one that I want to play. It's one more, because the other singer-songwriter in our singer-songwriter contest this year was Mary Jo Matea. And so most votes, she's performing with us at the 930 Club, and I love playing you their music. So I want to give you a little taste of her. I actually went back in her catalog. If you look up Mary Jo Matea, it's Mary Jo, J-O, and Matea is M-A-T-T-E-A. And if you look up their catalog, this is one of her early tracks, but I wanted to throw it back a little bit. So this is an early Mary Jo Matea track from quite a few years ago called The Meaning of Life.
DC Music rocks.
Mary Jo Matea, and the track is Meaning of Life, and that's off the album called The Joneses. It's one of her early albums, but she's also in a lot of different bands. She sings in Color Palette. She's also in Two Dragons and a Cheetah. They just released a couple of songs. I think they got an EP coming out. So she has a lot of projects. She's very involved, but she's also a very accomplished singer-songwriter. She moved to DC in 2011. She lives in Columbia Heights, but she plays all over DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And she's originally from South Florida, which you have that in common. And one other interesting fact about her is on the side, she teaches Zumba. So you got a high energy girl that also plays all this music. And so basically Mary Jo is just an amazing person. It's wonderful. So I'm so excited that I get to share her with you on the stage at 930 Club 2. And if you haven't ever checked her out, I hope you check her out online. Check out more of her music because there's just great things coming from her, and excited to see her on Saturday, August 18th at the 930. Now, we've got one more song, but I want to bring it to a close first. So, Pebble to Pearl, here's what I love. Guys, first of all, I love your vibe. I've seen you live now 2 or 3 times, and you seem like you're having fun. Plus, it's wildly talented. Plus, it's all the songs, like, you play the right covers that are just like, everybody's like, oh my God, it's such a good song. But like, you manage to get the dancing going and keep the dancing going. But then by the same token, I want to say, like, you're coming to 930 because your original music is also freaking awesome. So I love that you've been at this for a few years. And Derry, I love that somehow you said earlier that you were out of this one band and you started this other one, and I love that you didn't quit and you kept it going. And I love that Pebble to Pearl is a thing around DC because it's good. So I thank you guys for being here, and thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Yay.
And one more time for those folks who want to find out more about Pebble to Pearl, where do they go?
www.pebble2pearl.com is the website. There's an email list on there too that you can join and see where we're going to be playing next when we put those blasts out. Also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reverb Nation, iTunes, Spotify,
and
YouTube.
And they do have some fun with some videos. I follow them on YouTube, and I've seen they did a show, or they've got a video set up, or you can always check them out. That's very good. And listeners, I play drums for the DC rock band Fellowcraft. And since I am a DC musician, it's such a treat to share these guests like Pebble to Pearl and this great music from right here in the DC area with you each week. I just imagine some of these people live right around the corner from you. It's wonderful. Remember, this isn't just a show. We have resources for you too. On DCMusicRocks.com, you have access to a DC artist database to help you find more DC artists you'll love. We have a calendar to help you attend these great shows happening all over the DC area every day of the week. And we have playlists full of music by DC artists for you to enjoy. So the bottom line is, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for following DC's music. Thanks for supporting DC's musicians. And thanks for listening. Next week, we'll have Bruno Nasta, who's the coordinator of Jazz in the Garden in DC, is going to be a guest. And I've been such a fan of Jazz in the Garden for years, so it's exciting to actually get to talk to him. I'm looking forward to that. So if you have any questions about that or anything, obviously reach out. Let us know. We're happy to ask those questions while he's here. And last up, so we've got one more, and this is Stereo Riots. Guys, talk about Stereo Riots.
Well, okay, I'll talk about them. This is Jenny Jam. They're DC based. They're alternative indie kind of rock, and they're basically been together for several years. All original. Basically, they do some covers, but it's mainly originals. Yeah. And the great thing about it was this year they actually went on their first national tour out in the West Coast in June. So that's what they've been doing, is kind of like touring out there, and they're kind of like out there right now. But they had this big send off at Gypsy Sally's in May, which I couldn't attend because I was out of town. But I was really happy for them that they were actually going out. But they have a couple EPs. They're on Spotify. They're like everywhere too. iTunes, YouTube. You can see videos, music videos of them and stuff.
Very good. There it is. And I've been a fan. We debuted them here, and actually I got confirmation on them that they're staying out in LA. So they used to be DC, and now they're going away, and they've actually made the leap, and they're out in LA. So we wish them well, and we hope that they do wonderful things out in LA. And thanks for bringing these guys in. Their DC roots.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of
amazing.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the song you got for us? Let's bring it home.
Ghost Machines, and there's also a music video on YouTube that you can see with them.
Fantastic. Here it is.
DC Music Rocks.
Thank you so much for listening to DC Music Rocks. Useful links and information about this episode can be found on the website dcmusicrocks.com. Tune in, jam on, rock out.